Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Malgazer returning with another installment, the Final Fantasy XIV story playthrough. I apologize for the late start, but let's go ahead and just keep going here. So last we played, we found... Oh, let me pull up the main scenario list. Yes. The Empire is trying to get Yatsuyu back, especially sending her, I don't know if it's half-brother or step-brother or whatever he is. But they're finding out that, of course, she has indeed lost her memory. And things aren't going to go well, it seems. So let's go ahead and continue here. See what we can find out. Malgazer, impeccable timing. We have just received a letter from Lord Hien. He writes that the Domans are coordinating their efforts with the Blue Kojin to maintain a constant watch over the Red. By staying on the lookout for signs of crystal hoarding and the like, they mean to nip any summoning attempts in the bud, thereby satisfying the conditions for peace set down by the ambassador. For the Garlean's part, the Populares have sent word that a vessel bearing Doman conscripts is soon to arrive in Yangsha. It would seem that the prisoner exchange is to proceed as planned. Lord Hien requests your presence, and I share his view that you should be on hand at this critical juncture. According to the letter, Yatsuyu's memory has yet to return, so it looks like she'll be living out the rest of her days in Doma, assuming the ambassador means to honor the agreement, of course. Before we get to that, however, I think it would be wise to assess her condition one last time. If the Domans have missed any change in her mental state, however slight, it would be better if Asahi weren't the one to spot it. Agreed. Let us make straight away for the Enclave, then. Lord Hien will be waiting. I trust you'll cope in our absence, Tataru. Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. Just be sure to come back safely. Wait. Isn't it actually... Don't I have the Doman Enclave actual, like the teleport? I think that's where I want to actually go. And weird how it's not showing that as a teleport for me when that's the actual destination I need to be heading to. That I wasted my time like last time, teleporting and flying over and going in there anyway. Let's just head there directly. Suspicious. Nice. Let's go talk to Lord Hien. I sent my letter reach you across the Ruby Sea. Thank you for coming so swiftly. Though I wrote at some length on the subject of the forthcoming exchange, there is one other matter I neglected to mention. It concerns Gosetsu. As you may have observed, he returned from his ordeal rather worse for the wear, and despite his best efforts to conceal his condition, or perhaps because of them, he recently collapsed. Good God, is he alright? Confined to bed and grumbling without cease, but he has shown signs of recovery. He made me promise not to tell you lest you worry unduly, which was all very well when you weren't here. Now that you are, however, I think it high time he received some visitors. Might you spare him a moment? Yatsuyu has scarce left his side, and I imagine you are curious to see what has become of her as well. We'll visit him at once, Malgazer, Alize, shall we? Indeed. Maybe get some voice acting in here?
Open wide now.
Pleased to you. I'm not so frail that I cannot feed myself. grow weary of the taste of gruel.
You don't like it? Can I fetch you something else?
Aye, wine. Or if that is not wholesome enough, I don't know. A sweet persimmon from Namai? I enjoyed them in my youth.
A persimmon.
Nay, pay me no mind. I am full. Besides, we have guests.
I hope we are not interrupting your meal. We had heard you were confined to bed and thought you might welcome some visitors.
Confined to... a gross exaggeration. A trifle drained from my exertions, perhaps, but with a little rest, I shall be fighting fit again in no time.
Take off your clothes.
Gosetsu, is this how you've been spending your time?
My lady, I assure you, this is not...
Off with them. We need to wash you. You stink. What are all these scars? There are so many of them.
A life of battle will leave its mark upon a man. Is something wrong, Tsuyu?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
But leave me be, woman. I will not be thrown over like some newborn babe.
I'll laugh at him. Sorry that you're weak. Ooh. They make a convincing pair, do they not? On first acquaintance, I would think the doting grandsire and her a model grandchild. Indeed, had someone told me a year ago that I would live to bear witness to such a scene, I would have declared them mad. That aside, I'm relieved to see Kosetsu has lost none of his spirit. But what of a turn of events? I mean, for her to suddenly be watching over him, you couldn't make it up. Although I suppose Kosetsu is an old man, with the way he charges through life, it can be easy to forget. Aye, he has resisted decrepitude with the same defiance he showed the enemies of Doma, but no matter how adamant his will, no man could carry on forever. He has pushed himself beyond the limits of endurance too many times. Even if his health returns, the fact remains, he'll never again be the warrior he once was. He has given his all for liege and land. We will ask no more. And what of his nurse? If Yotsuyu is feigning that, well, she certainly has me fooled. This is no pretense. Yugiri, out of all this, I would think you hardest to convince. So, what makes you so sure? I have been spying on Yotsuyu from the shadows, waiting for the misstep that would betray her charade for what it is. But her mask has never slipped, not once. She has remained in character from the first. One evening I watched her, she sat in her chambers, unguarded and alone. She had taken the dishes from the cupboard and was pretending to prepare dinner right there on the tatami. A child's game. Even the wariest shinobi would not go to such lengths. I can but conclude that her mind is truly broken. Well, that's good enough for me, and everyone else, I would hazard. The matter is settled. Yotsuyu will become Tsuyu and will begin a new life here in Doma. Before that can happen, however, we will need to present her to the ambassador one last time to prove that her memory is truly gone. But I would not risk parading her in front of our returning conscripts. Her presence at the exchange would only stir up mutinous thoughts. Understandably, she is good as fasten the chains around their necks. Which is why I mean to conclude this business with Suyu first, out of the sight of my countrymen. Will you help me? We are at your service. There is no higher purpose than the pursuit of peace. Thanks. The Garleans are on their way, and we must prepare to welcome the ambassador. We will meet you at the docks with Suyu. Speak with Alphino. I wonder when I get the next trial or dungeon or whatever. It's been a while since I've had one. The last one was the one where we went for the treasure for Yerobadia. If we wait here then, Lord Tian should not be long. My friends, have you seen Suyu? She is nowhere to be found. What? But the Garlands will be landing in a matter of moments. If she's fled, would it mean her memories have returned? I know not. Yugiri is scouring the streets as we speak, but it is possible Suyu has left the Enclave altogether. Captain, a word. You did perchance carry a fair-skinned woman across the river? A fair-skinned woman, my lord. I do not know rightly. Yes, my lord. I had mentioned that there was a lady among the passengers whom I did not recall having seen before. Her face was hidden by the brim of her hat, but I remember taking her hand to help her onto the boat. White as new-fallen snow it was. Was she someone important, my lord? Have I done something wrong? Wrong? No, I was merely hoping to catch her guest before she departed. BD is captain. I was in such a hurry to run over there, but I'm going to walk back. You've seen that Suyu has crossed the river. Kami, help me. No good can come of this. I'll take the healing one. That way, if I ever work up a healer, I already have that handy. It seems Suyu has gone unrecognized thus far, but Kami help us if someone catches a clear view of her face. I must find her before that happens. The responsibility for her disappearance for all this lies with me. But I would ask for your aid nonetheless. We are at your service, Lord Tian. Now as before, let us make the crossing and begin our search. You go on ahead. Someone should let Yugiri know what we've learned. I'll join you on the other side. Psychotic bat. We have no way of knowing where Suyu is headed, so we best divide our forces. I'll take Kusakari and its surroundings. Alphino, if you would take the road to Castle Fluminous. Alcazar, forgive me, but could I ask you to interrogate the residents of Yuzuka Manor? One of the Namazu may well have seen our quarry. If everyone is in agreement, let us board the skiff and hope that Kami smile upon our efforts. This is going to be a free hair. I don't have to go talk to him. It's going to automatically do it. Where have you gone, Yatsuyu? Unusually pale skin. Yes, I saw this woman on the way back from my fishing trip. He had just crossed the shallows east of here and was headed into the northeasterly direction, for the most part. Her steps did not seem certain. If you hurry, you might still catch her. That's enough information for me, but why do I have to talk to the second person? Welcome to Yuzuka Manor. Yes, yes. If there's anything you care to know, you need only... A pale-skinned woman? I have seen no such traveler, I'm sorry to say. Most sorry. Scaly-skinned Namazu, on the other hand, we have an abundance. Flying behemoth. Excuse me. You seem to know that sign of Natsuyo to the north. Perhaps she is somewhere farther off to the northeast. Well, this is where Ian is going. He said he was going to Kusakari. Zona Sanyatsu. Perhaps she's yet further to the northeast. I mean, it should be pretty obvious where she went, based on her conversation with Setsu. Hitsuyu is nowhere to be seen, but lying on the ground a short distance to the north, you spy a familiar-looking wide-brimmed hat. A cursory glance is all that is required to confirm your suspicions. It is the same hat Yatsuyu was wearing when you found her at Sakazuki. Alcazar, before you ask or search at Kusakari and its surroundings have yielded exactly naught. Save this chance of reunion with you, I suppose. Mistress Alize has gone to assist her brother at the castrum. It is she who informed me of the situation. I joined Lord Tien here shortly thereafter. How did you fare at Yuzuka Manor? Any sign of our missing guest? Why, yeah. Explain. Towards Namai, by the kami, if the villagers recognize her, it will not end well. We must hurry. Yugiri and I will check the patties. The village square is yours.
Greetings. Might I have one of your... Wait! Please! I only wanted a persimmon.
You know better than to wander off.
Kami, save us! Her spirit has returned!
She's back from the dead to seek her revenge!
Oh. He got here just in time.
It can't be. She couldn't have survived.
What did I do?
Quite a bit.
As if you didn't know.
Good people of Namai, be at ease, I pray you. You have naught to fear.
My lord, forgive me, but what is that monster doing here? They told us she was dead.
I too was surprised to learn of her survival. More even than you, I would hazard. 'Twas I who cut her down, I who left her to her fate. But it would seem the Kami had other plans. By some miracle, both she and Gosetsu were spared when the keep collapsed, though Yotsugu's preservation came at the cost of her memory.
You're saying she's forgotten? Forgotten everything she's done?
Lies! Lies, my lord! She would say anything to escape punishment!
What does it matter? We have not forgotten her crimes, and we demand justice! I beg of you, Lord Hien, draw your blade and rid us of this canker!
What I saw then, it's all true. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
You're sorry. I'm not. We're supposed to forgive you.
Here, there's no need to cry. Can't you see how scared she is? How can you be scared of her? She's not the same.
The child is using her deductive reasoning and logic.
Until such time as her memories return, this woman shall be known as Tsuyu, and treated as a citizen of Doma. I will, however, see that she is watched at all times. Rest assured there will be no more unannounced visits to the village. As your lord, I ask that you leave her fate in my hands, and suffer her to live, for now.
Please, Issei.
All right. I'll keep my peace. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters.
No, it's a shrugging. Whatever. Oh, money. Now what? That would have been better avoided, but at least it did not end in bloodshed. Judging by Sue's reaction, she remains oblivious to the events of her former life. This is no escape attempt. You did just hear her say, so it was all true, unless you were just oblivious to that. Nay, it seems that it was an offhand request of Gosetsu's which brought her to Namai. She came in search of a persimmon. Ah, and they say fruit is good for the health. I hope Gosetsu finds the taste to his liking. Well, we've certainly taken the long way around. Let us continue on to Castrum Fluminus and our meeting with the ambassador. Alphino and Alize should still be there conducting their search. Good thing I have a link pearl so I can talk to them from afar. Oh, excuse me. At the entrance, it looks like. Yep. It seems our imperial guests have already arrived. Just time to meet with the ambassador.
What a pleasure it is to see you once more, Lord Hien. Not to mention my dear sister.
A pleasure to see you too, Ambassador. Forgive us our late arrival. You have our people aboard the airship?
Exactly as agreed. We would leave you in no doubt as to the purity of our intentions. I dare say it was the self-same spirit of cooperation which prompted you to bring Yotsuyu here today.
Because Hien's a good guy.
Indeed. Before excluding her from the exchange, I thought it only fair that you see her condition for yourself. Physically, she is in fine health, but her mind is unchanged.
So I see. But all need not necessarily be lost. In anticipation of this tragic turn of events, I took the liberty of inviting some special guests.
Hmm. Bring them in. Surprise. We've been walking up slowly this whole time. You didn't see us. And who are these?
Ah, Yotsuyu. You look well.
Of all the people.
Hmm.
Is something wrong, dear sister? These are your parents. Does not the sight of them bring back sweet childhood memories?
No, not for her. Yeah. I saw he was just watching in the background.
Gosetsu. I have to take this to Gosetsu.
It would seem my little surprise was not sufficient.
I was trying to jar her memories. Bring her back.
You needn't glare at me so, Lord Hien. I merely did what any loving son would do for his family. Lest you doubt, I am content to leave the acting viceroy in your care. Pray, treat her as you would any daughter of Dorma.
She's not the acting viceroy anymore.
Do not grow too fond of this place, dear sister. You will come back to us ere long.
We continue with the exchange as planned, then.
Very good. The structure across the river should serve our needs. We shall await you there with the conscripts. If you would bring your captives.
Agreed. Until then, Ambassador.
More cinematic, or am I going to be able to move? More cinematic, okay. Watch a movie today. I knew better than to trust Asahi, but that was a dirty trick. Still unpleasant as it was, we have to at least put the matter of Suyu's future to rest. I've sent her back to the Enclave of Yugiri to give Gosetsu his precious persimmon. Come, let us follow them. There's a nod about it, too. Look at Alphino. You have that look, Alphino. What is it? Oh, nothing of consequence, just most like we can discuss it upon our return. Oh, nice. Thanks for the teleport. We should pay a visit to Gosetsu and reassure him about Suyu's fate. He will want to know that the Empire has finally relinquished its claim on her. Or you could have just taken me into his room. So I have to click on something. Ridiculous.
Gosetsu, are you awake?
My lord, come in, come in. She spoke not a word, simply sat and peeled some fruit she'd brought for me.
The persimmon you asked for, dang.
She then claimed weariness and retired to her chamber. Tell me, what happened to upset her so?
The ambassador arranged a surprise reunion with her foster parents. A misguided attempt to restore Yotsuyu to her senses. It was plain their presence caused her great distress, but she seemed otherwise unaffected.
Yotsuyu was mistreated as a child, was she not? It was a cruel trick to use her tormentors like that, knowing the pain it could cause.
I like this Asahi less and less.
I don't think we like him at all.
Be that as it may, he has agreed to allow Yotsuyu to remain with us in Doma. Our primary concern now is to hand over the prisoners without incident and bring our people safely home.
There was one other detail at the meeting which caught my attention. I assume you all noticed the rather suspect crates within the castrum. The Imperials were quick to retrieve them afterwards, but I wonder...
Out with it, brother. You fear they might contain bombs or war machines?
If the ambassador wanted me dead, he has had ample opportunity. No, assassination is not his intent, but we should be on our guard for other acts of treachery.
I wonder what's in the crates then.
My lord, forgive me, But the Lady Yotsuyu, she's gone.
You guys are horrible at watching her. This is the second time.
I beg your pardons, my lords. I was certain she'd fallen asleep.
No, no, the responsibility is mine. 'Twas I who gave her a room instead of a cell. She may simply have wandered outside. We will organize search parties. Might I call upon your assistance?
Well, I'll go take a nap. Oh, no magic map to show me exactly where she is. Oh, they're her parents.
Help! Help me!
Where do they think she's going?
If only I hadn't remembered. He should hate me. But I will not suffer his kindness. Not after what I did to him.
Does she remember, then have a change of heart in the process, or what?
Who's there?
How did you get in the Enclave?
Oh, it's you. What are you doing out here in the dark?
This is the Enclave, is it? When the soldiers dragged us back to Doma, you were the last person I expected to see.
You're the bane of our existence, Yotsuyu. A font of misery. You
Jeez.
couldn't even do us the simple courtesy of dying. Could you? Oh no. You had to live and taint us with the shame of your failure. We had a perfect life in the capital, and now they're making us wallow in this muddy ruin like common swine. I don't deserve this.
Yeah, you do. You're horrible to her.
Now, dear, that'll do. There seems little point in berating the girl when she scarcely remembers her own name. Our time would be better spent contemplating how we're to survive this unhappy predicament. You've kept your looks at least. I suspect you'd fetch a handsome price with the right buyer. Maybe enough to get us to Kugane and start a new business.
What a laugh. What a fake laugh. The fake laugh it up.
Ah, my beloved parents. No sooner do I wake from gentle slumber than the world returns in all its cruelty. Yes, this is how it always was. How it was meant to be. Very well. If I cannot escape my nature, then I shall embrace it. To the very depths I have sunk, my soul steeped in spite and rotten to the core. The self-righteous hide behind justice, but I need no such mask. Father, Mother, was it not you who made me into this monster? Who taught me the truth of this miserable world? For years I knew naught but the taste of pain and humiliation. But the time has come to savor my vengeance against Doma. Against all my enemies. And it begins with you!
Yotsuyu! What?
We snuck in. It was the only place where they could live.
Dear sister, did I not say you would come back to us?
Brother dearest, what a surprise. You always were a cold-blooded little worm. I doubt you thought twice about sending our parents to their deaths.
Your dagger yet drips with their blood, and you presume to judge me? To be frank, I didn't think you had the strength to slay them so cleanly. A single thrust each. I'm impressed. But surely you can't be satisfied with murdering a pair of doddering elders. You yearn for a deeper vengeance, and the power to see it through.
Oh, okay. What does that mean? Here's the mirror.
Please. I don't want to die.
You don't have a choice.
Any sign of her? What happened here? I knew what would happen if she recovered. And still, I did nothing. You say she left with her brother? Whatever he wants with her, he was willing to pay for it with his parents' lives. But this is neither the time nor the place. We must gather the others.
Let's do it then. Yeah, there's a nod. A slow nod, too. Ooh. We have recovered the Daenerys remains. Oh, I guess that's our last name. And hold their cremation anon. Where they had never again set foot in Doma. I broke the news to Cosetto myself. He was quiet. I think it best that he be allowed some time to be alone with his thoughts. So, my friends, that which we feared has come to pass. Yetsu has regained her memory and returned to the Imperial fold. It is, by any measure, a cruel twist, not least for Kasetsu, but one which does not invalidate our agreement. According to the terms of the contract, we are bound to surrender Yetsu into the Guardian's hands should her condition improve prior to the hour of the exchange. By that reckoning, all is, if not as it should be, then as it must be. This I can accept. What I cannot accept is the unconscionable lengths to which Asahi went to achieve this outcome. Given his recent conduct and his apparent admiration for Xenos, it is plain he cannot be trusted, and that is to say nothing of the unexplained containers he insists on bringing to our meetings. Whatever the ambassador is planning, I think it unlikely our negotiations will end peacefully. In the event of hostilities, the safety of the conscripts must be our first concern. As such, would have an escape route in place before the meeting begins. A wise precaution. If the main structure of Castle Luminous is be the station for the exchange, then I believe a thorough inspection is in order. The Citadel has stood empty ever since the Imperial withdrawal. While we took steps to ensure that it could not be defended by an occupying force, it is entirely possible that the ambassador has arranged things there to his advantage. I will slip inside and make certain we have an unobstructed exit. Thanks you, Gary. Ooh. Pray allow me to join you. I have an experience of Imperial facilities, and should matters take a turn for worse, I'd be of at least some use. Very good. That should be enough to guarantee us a way out of the castrum. Beyond that, however, we will need a ship to ferry the conscripts back to the Enclave. Even with every skip we have, it would take several trips to evacuate everyone. A Confederate Sekibuni, on the other hand, would require only a single run, and leave us far less vulnerable in the water. Assuming, of course, Rasha could be convinced to part with one. Why, thank you. How's everyone doing tonight? I might take the lead on this. I have dealings with Rasha and the pirates. I know I won't be alone, will I, Malchazar? I'm doing fantastic. See a couple new people out there, Swiftshot and Sad Papa. You can count on me. Yes. Much appreciated. I quite fancy parlaying with pirates again. It's just a shame Lise won't be there to reprise her role. Yeah, pink ears and everything. I'm certain we can make a persuasive pair, but I think I will accompany you to these negotiations all the same. My lord, the ruler of Doma should not be seen consorting with common brigands. Come now, you Gary. They stood with us against the Empire. If we would ask their aid once more, we must treat them as equals. My presence shall serve to demonstrate our sincerity. Well, I have a swimsuit. Indeed, my lord. Pray forgive my presumption. By your leave, Master Alphano, and I shall be about our task. Sorry, I have this on auto run, so I have to read kind of quickly sometimes. Sometimes I miss it all. But that's fine. How much to change outfit? And we should be on our way to Onokoro. Time is short, and Russia may take some convincing. Pray tell, are you Minfilia? Pray return to the waking sands. Come on. I hate the load times of this. But how are you guys doing tonight? Doing all right? Or are you just doing fantastic? Now there is a face I did not expect to see. What brings the noble lord of Doma into the company of bilge-rats such as we? If you come to offer Doma chains in place of Garlean ones, then I'm afraid you've wasted your trip. Ahaha! And what fine subjects you would make. With your fleet at our disposal, our restoration efforts would be hastened tenfold. But let us speak seriously. I stand before you not to demand your fealty, but to request your aid once more. Explain, explain. Explain, explain, explain. Mayhap you are confused. Doma's liberation is but a means to an end. We aided you only to save ourselves. Now we have no such incentive. We have sworn no oath to you, and will not come running like hounds at their master's whistle. I do not presume to treat you as thus. I come to petition your cooperation as an ally of equal standing. Equal standing, you say? Seems a bit lopsided to me. Where's the profit for us in all this? Profit? Must you always think in such short-sighted terms? Have you ever heard of doing the right thing? Have you ever heard of pirates, little miss? You'll find we're simple souls. You pay our tithe, you sail in peace, and as our due, we take it by force. We'll pull you out of the water if we see you drowning, but we are not in the business of doing something for nothing. Calm yourself, Mr. Salazar. We did not come here to moralize, we came here to talk, and there is more to be said. According to the records recovered after the liberation, relatives of your Doman-born brethren were among those conscripted into the Imperial Army. And as you may be aware, we recently negotiated the return of said conscripts. Many, alas, will arrive to find no families waiting for them, no homes to grant them shelter. I would ask you offer them a place in the Confederacy. You would not be rescuing strangers, but welcoming brothers and strangers into your ranks. And has not the Confederacy been in need of new recruits? You seem well informed of our affairs, Lord Hian. The losses we suffered at Garlean's hands are no secret, but since we drove them out of Doma, the Ruby Sea has come alive with traders and travelers. So many vessels to tax, so few pirates to tax them. We could do with some more hands on deck, and doubly so if they're familiar with the inner workings of the Empire. Oh. Very well, the Confederacy agrees to your request. You will have your ship. But before that, you must do something for me. The vessel I have in mind was damaged during your battle with the Empire. Though we admitted her, she is yet to be declared seaworthy. She is sound enough down below, but when we load her up with conscripts and the waterline rises, those upper planks had best be free of cracks. Assuming you want your people to stay dry, you will do me the favor of swimming around the hull to check for weaknesses. That is, if Doman lords are not averse to getting their robes wet. Not this Doman lord. If we each inspect a third of the ship, it shall be done in a trice. Trice, interesting. That is a spirit. The ship is moored at Quickscape Pier. Our apprentice shipwright will be on deck to hear your report. Look for a lad named Ihanashi. And I thought I had an knack for parleying with pirates. For the record, my previous attempt was an unmitigated success, and yes, I should have quit while I was ahead. Thanks, Alize. Oh? Well, well, I thought the rumors exaggerated, but the young lord lives up to his reputation. What rumors? I don't know any rumors. Invisible flight, yeah. No signs of damage. Trying to. Thank you, geez. That was a pain. Upon closer inspection, you spot a small crack in one of the planks. Flying cars. I am the shipwright, or apprentice shipwright. Did you find anything that might need attention? The section I inspected seems solid enough. On the port side near the bow, you say? Alright, I'll have a look and see what I can do. My apologies, I seem to have lagged behind. I could float in the gentle sea all day. Otherwise, I'm happy to report no visible cracking or holes in my section of the hull. You're Lord Ian. The captain sent you to inspect the hull. God may have mercy. Forgive us this discourtesy, my lord. Ha, 'cause 'tis quite all right. In fact, I rather enjoyed it. I take it you are of Doma? Yes, my lord. The Imperials took my father away after the uprising, and I had nowhere else to turn. The Confederacy became my family. Someone told me they're releasing the conscripts now. Maybe my father will be among them. Not that I can go back. There's no leaving once you've joined. How fair is our lady? Is she seaworthy? Here's a little Moogle necklace. Captain, we found a small crack in the port side, but I'll have it fixed before you know it. I see you met the boy. Did he tell you his story? He babbles when he is nervous. Should his father be among the conscripts, as he hopes? I mean to give him the choice to leave his life. If he so chooses, I expect to see that they are provided for. I have heard that those who join the Confederacy forswear all ties with kin and homeland. Is that oath so easily put aside? If I allow it. I see in him the lad I was 25 years ago. You say the words, you mean them, but the yearning for home still lingers. My family is long dead, and I know this life is my lot, but he has scarce dipped his toes with us. If there is life for him in Doma, he should have the chance to live it. Well said. The Empire's conquest has uprooted many and more. Be it in Yanxia or on the Ruby Sea, we have a duty to ensure that Ihanashi and the others like him are free to dwell where they desire. Then the matter is settled. I will make preparations to cast off. Well, my friends, it seems we have our ship. Let us return to the Enclave. I'll throw out some nods for him. Okay, there we go. Looks like it doesn't just show me that map immediately. I don't have the kind of swimsuit you guys are thinking of. Wink, wink. Lord Ian is expecting you. May I show you in? It seems Ugiri and Alphino completed their task before us. They have been waiting. We scouted the structure and determined the swiftest path to safety. In the event of hostilities, we will lead the conscripts outside with all possible haste. From there, the Confederacy has pledged a ship to ferry us across the One River. Now we have to attend the exchange and pray to the kami these precautions were unnecessary. I guess I'll take Vitality? Yeah. While we were putting our contingency plans in place, I left Hakuro in charge of organizing transport for the Imperial prisoners. You will see that they arrive at the appointed hour, leaving us free to rendezvous with our Confederate allies. Come, they wait us on the riverbank not far from the castrum. It's actually faster to teleport out. Not go to Namai and fly. Seems those gentlemen joined up, said, hey, change your swimsuit, and then just bounced. So we're almost getting to the point where the first character that I got into Stormblood, I got him like one more quest in. Second character, I got him several more through, but I never finished. I got into Shadowbringers. Your party's assembled then. I am ready for what lies ahead, I trust. Lest there be any confusion, though, the tower across the water is to be the scene of the exchange. That, and whatever else Asahi has planned. But regardless of the ambassador's intentions, we will bring our people home. Yukiri, you are to evacuate the conscripts at the first sign of trouble. Yes, my lord. We, meanwhile, shall cover their escape, and lend what support we can. Your ship awaits you at the Castrom's loading docks. She will see you safely home. Then all stand ready to play their part. Come, let us be about it. No, we're actually inside the castrum. Look at all those crates. I know exactly what's in them, and you guys should too. Pretty obvious.
At last, the hour has come. The conclusion to these negotiations will mark a new beginning for Dorma and the Empire. A first step on the road to peaceful coexistence.
Indeed. We are ready to proceed with the exchange when you are. Forgive my curiosity, Ambassador, but is there a purpose to these containers you bring with you?
Oh, the supply crates. They are filled with materials we hoped might be of use in Dorma's restoration. I meant to gift them to you at our last meeting, but we had so much else to discuss.
How very generous. I confess I had not expected such compassion, welcome though it is. But then I was also surprised by the news that one of our captives had delivered herself into your custody ahead of time. A minor discrepancy I shall overlook in the spirit of the occasion.
Are you perhaps referring to me, Lord Hien?
She has the outfit back and everything.
Yotsuyu.
Orphan of the Naori, widow of Sashihai, and acting Viceroy of Dorma. You and your people are mine to govern, mine to punish.
You lost.
Well, well. It would seem your shattered mind is mended. As per our agreement with the Ambassador, you are free to return with him to the Empire. Your authority as acting Viceroy, however, is no longer recognized here.
My position is not for you to decide, little lordling. All who resist the rule of the Empire must be purged. Such was the order given to me by Lord Xenos himself.
Should have just killed her.
Until the last of you has been broken.
All the whispers.
This land shall know no dawn. I will spew forth darkness and drown all in eternal night. And high above you I shall shine, uncaring, cold and distant as the moon.
Mm-hmm.
What has she done?
Oh gods, this is a summoning.
Look at those bunny ears.
A dormant citizen has called forth an icon in direct violation of our primary agreement. The negotiations have failed. Abandon the captives and make preparations to withdraw.
But Ambassador!
Disobey me, Pilus, and you disobey the Emperor. Make preparations to withdraw! Now!
As you command.
He finally speaks.
My lord, you must fall back!
You ask me to run?
A strategic withdrawal.
Spare my pride, would you? I know this foe is beyond me. The field is yours. We will withdraw, but not without our countrymen. I want every soul accounted for. Every soul!
My lord.
Run!
I knew you would not flee. I see now the strength which flows from that baleful light of yours. But I have become Tsukuyomi, goddess of the moon and divinity of night. What power can compare to such celestial majesty?
Mine and 7 others.
I shall plunge all I despise into darkness. And within that black abyss, even your light shall flicker and fail.
Whisper, whisper, whisper. Sorry, guys.
Come, let us leave the stalks and look upon the fate of Dorman. I see a future in which the sun sets on this wretched land. Once and for all!
Her neck got really long. It looks like too small for her body. Her head. Mm-hmm. This is where I start not really knowing what to do in fights. So I'm gonna queue. Then that is a trial. Hopefully it gives me a chance to look up some strats. Sorry for the lack of music. Actually, I don't even know if you guys lose the music while I'm looking at other things. Castrum Fluminous Trial. There we go. Hmm. Fine, I'll have to for you to step-by-step play on this one. Torment unto death is the tank buster. It's a conal cleave, so make sure that only the main tank gets hit. Okay. Well, I guess we're just going to jump in. That's fine. We'll probably be fine. One moment. Done. Okay. Commence. Excuse me. Look at that pipe.
It's going to be a long night.
I'll turn off my tank stance. Well, I was about to take the thing off of him. Get away from the fans. Someone already died. Huh. Ow. Enough of that. I wouldn't want the pain to grow too familiar. Man, share that damage. Ow. Why does it fade away? I understand. It feeds on my spite, on my suffering. Come forth, shades of the dead. Curse my name, strike my body, fill my soul with malice. Worthless excuse for a doctor, you're nothing but trouble. A font of misery, that's what you are. Dang. Yes, my dearest parents, I was the bane of your existence until the very end. AoE time. I think if she gets to max suffering, then it's like bad idea. Fight like your life depends on it, sister. Oh, you wouldn't want to disappoint me. If it isn't the cold-blooded little worm, always crawling through my rotten heart. Your pitiful fortunes can bring you no lower. You have come to deliver judgment for my failure. Cut me then. Surely it is a simple task. Stand behind me, Asahi, or Suyu. Ah. Destroy the Spectre of Xenos. We must survive, Suyu. The Kami spared us, and we cannot repay that boon in death. Yes. Perhaps it is too late for me. There can be no redemption. A night bloom flower here upon the side of my demise. Now, if I remember correctly, this is where the field splits and you have to switch sides. Ooh, music. There it is. I just don't know when I need to switch sides. Enough, I guess? Ooh, there's some AoEs. This is the one mechanic I wanted to actually read about. Anti-Twilight. I don't like that either. I don't like Twilight either. Ow. Oh, the moon's gone. The thing's gone. Oh, did it pull out? Oh, the tank died. Good to know. I'm tanking now. Cool. Thought I got out of there, but whatever. Ow. That hurt. Dang. Ow. We didn't DPS those things down quickly enough. So they exploded and killed a lot of people. Really don't understand this mechanics. This is far from over. My blooded hands have much left to accomplish. Man, people are dying left and right over here. Damn, that tank just keeps dying. Nice, much better. Almost dead. Someone used their LB. Oh, we didn't get one. Or someone already used it. Oh, someone already used it. We got this. And success. Am I sunk to my lowest then? Never get 5 stacks. Okay. I think I switched it 4, not really knowing what I needed to, but it worked out. Oof. Was that Asahi? Of course it was. Can I kill him yet? Not even trying to block it. Let's take its head.
You really must learn to finish the job. 'Tis true that a gaudy mirror and a handful of crystals make for a feeble summoning. But even the weakest icon is a god of sorts. A threat that must be put down. My, such hostility. These beings are the sworn enemies of the Empire. I merely did my duty as an Imperial officer.
By summoning it and then killing it?
Will you surrender to anger then? avenge a fallen foe?
I'd kill you because you're a jerk. You caused all this nonsense.
You cannot, of course. To do so would burn the bridges we have labored so hard to build.
Would have said that you were killed by the icon.
But I'm forgetting. They're already ash. This Dorman woman has seen to that. The Empire cannot ally itself with any nation that refuses to renounce summoning. I believe I was most clear on that point.
Just kill him. Let's say that Yatsuyu killed him when she turned.
Should have been mine. The power he bestowed upon her. I should have been the one to govern Doma. I would have repaid his faith.
What a child.
No one alive loves him more than I!
Crazy eyes.
Instead, this harlot betrayed his trust. Useless piece of filth! Worthless whore!
Damn. Oh. It was her. She did kill him.
Thank you, dear brother, for this precious gift. Vengeance. These people, our people, they ignore the corruption which festers beneath the surface. Cast aside that which is dirty and broken. Speak not of things which would disrupt their dreary little lives. Like you, Asahi. Always pretending not to see. You were the first. The first I swore to kill.
Teeth chatter. What? Oh, there we go.
Such bliss. I had thought my hunger insatiable. But now I am satisfied. You should feel honored, dear brother. I saved the last of my strength, just for you.
Awesome.
What's the matter? The Witch of Doma will soon be dead.
So you deserved a kinder fate.
Her happiness was never to be. Not in this world. I wonder, was the fruit as sweet as he remembered?
Back into the ethereal sea with you.
Lord Xenos. I am at your disposal.
Asai, you were born of Doma, yes?
Yes, my lord. I am honored that you would remember me. How may I serve?
You are hereby appointed Ambassador Plenipotentiary, and empowered to speak with the voice of the Emperor. Return to your native land of Doma, and announce your intention to sue for peace.
For peace?
Once negotiations are underway, you are to locate the acting Viceroy.
He lives? That is to say, I will, my lord.
When you have found her, you will initiate a ritual to call forth an icon. I will instruct you in the necessary steps.
He sounds ragged. Well, he did slice his own neck open, so...
Yotsuyu's faith is unreliable. But as a child raised to believe in the Kami, she will serve as a vessel for one of the Kojin's gods. She need only wish it to be so.
Even when he's on the mend, he has like ridiculous shoulder pads.
The power will seem a gift, but the icon's essence will consume her. She will be no more than a husk, a slave to whim and desire.
My lord, ever since the day you saw fit to save my miserable life, I have dreamed of repaying your benevolence. Upon my honor, I swear to devote myself wholly to your service. All that you command will be done, no matter the cost. But I fear the subtleties of your plan yet elude me. From the reports I have heard, the champion who aids the Doman resistance would make short work of a single icon.
The icon is merely a message. The pacifist teachings of the Populares spread through this city like a plague. And I would remind the people of the threat we face. You will be my chosen agent. The hand which tolls the warning bell. The salvation of this world will not be won through the signing of treaties.
Your chosen agent. I will not fail you, my lord.
Well, he didn't fail, but he died.
My master, Lord Xenos, he will come for you.
You have prevailed, I see.
Was there any doubt? I think Osetsu's here too.
She is gone. Wherefore did the Kami spare us, only to inflict this pain?
Death shall not want for company this day. You spared us a worse disaster, but I fear our fledgling peace with the Empire was beyond saving.
It was a lie in the first place.
Lord Hien!
Maxima, is it not? I assumed you long fled.
I entertain thoughts of escape even now, but our negotiations have yet to reach a satisfying conclusion. The ambassador insisted that the summoning spelled an end to our mission here, but it seemed to me there was more to the tale.
Xenos was behind the plot.
I have heard tell of this power you wield, and in your vision, you witnessed Lord Xenos giving these orders.
How can that be? Xenos is dead. He took his own life after the battle in Alamigo. I saw his body with my own eyes.
Forgive me, but Lord Xenos is very much alive. He granted our party an audience prior to our departure. That he was gravely wounded is certain, but his recovery appeared to be proceeding apace.
I'm afraid I share Lord Hien's confusion. The man's death was confirmed and his remains interred. These are matters of public record.
I have no doubt you believe what you say. But what then is the explanation? That an imposter has infiltrated the innermost circle of the Imperial Court? The idea is inconceivable, absurd. But worthy of investigation nonetheless. Our movement can ill afford to have a highly placed pretender undermining our efforts.
Your efforts may yet bear fruit. Tell me, what is to become of our prisoner exchange? Though we have already taken custody of our conscripts, we have yet to release your Imperial comrades. Do you still intend to collect?
Yes. As the late ambassador's second in command, it falls to me to speak on the Empire's behalf. And I'm happy to confirm our intent to proceed according to the original agreement.
Then let us be about it. 'Twould be a pity to abandon such a promising beginning.
Indeed. You have my thanks, Lord Hien. As soon as our people are secure aboard our airship, we shall depart straightways for Garlemald.
Tread lightly, Pilus. I sense treachery awaits you there.
Might I accompany you to the capital?
Alphino, have you gone mad?
Imposter or no, if Xenos was instructing Asahi on the finer points of ritual summoning, then experience tells us there is an Ascian waiting in the wings. Without our knowledge and expertise, our new friends will be hard-pressed to contend with a foe for whom death is but a minor inconvenience. They need our help.
Were you indeed willing to share your knowledge of this enemy, we would not shun your counsel.
You truly mean to do this? In full knowledge of the danger?
I have seen the Warrior of Light risk his life on countless occasions. Next to him, I'm scarce more than a distraction on the battlefield. But in the meeting room or the audience chamber, there I can make a difference. I can strike bargains, forge ties, and change minds. And where better to do these things than in the home of our old enemy?
This is your moment. Don't mess it up.
Tis not for me to stop you, but I would have you consider an alternative arrangement. Rather than braving the Empire as a simple traveler, go forth as an emissary of Doma. Such a position should offer you some measure of protection.
So then, you've obviously made up your mind. Just try not to do anything reckless, all right?
He already is. He's going to the lion's den.
Be on my best behavior. Farewell, my friends.
To throw some nods out. Oh, all right. I knew Hasahi was planning some manner of treachery, but a summoning. Thank the kami you were here, my friend. None of us would have escaped Yasuyu's vengeance had you not intervened. She was a pawn, but she still had a choice, and she chose to submit to the ambassador's plan. As little wonder Gosetsu departed in silence. I gather he left the same way he came, alone aboard a rowing boat. As for the conscripts, most made it to the Sekibune before the battle began in earnest, but the vessel yet awaits in the riverbank for those who did not flee in time. And I suggest we put this doleful place behind us and make for the Enclave together. We'd be ashamed to miss the joyous reunion. It's raining. The boy's father came back. The guy who was the shipwright. How did everyone there know that it was one of their family members coming back?
How often have I imagined this moment? Thank you for helping it come to pass.
Let's change you out of those imperial robes. Seems like there's a lot of stern talking tos going on there. Speech. No, no speech, just a bow. Gosetsu.
Ah, there you are.
Gosetsu, your hair.
I fell out.
My friend, what have you done?
Did you not like it?
An old man who cannot sees his blade has no place in the service of a young lord. Thus did I decide to devote my remaining days to pilgrimage. I will walk this land, offering prayers of repose for all the souls who left this life in suffering.
All of them?
Safe travels, Gosetsu.
A fulsome farewell makes for an enjoyable journey.
Scarcely have we said our goodbyes to Alphino, and you leave us too. But 'tis well that my companions find their own way forward. I must endeavor to do the same.
I have faith that you will find the best path for Doma without me, my lord. Pray forgive me this last act of selfishness, and grant me your blessing.
You have earned it 1,000 times over. Go in peace, my friend. I shall make of Doma a land where children laugh and none need live in fear.
There is no better way to honor those who went before. And with that, I take my leave.
Oh. Oh. Gosetsu, a fair journey to you, my friend. A bittersweet equation, but there is yet ample cause to be grateful. Pray join us in the Kian-Con. I would thank you properly. Oh yeah? Why did we go inside? Just get out of the rain. Our brothers and sisters have returned to us, and the dream of Doma's restoration is that much closer to being realized. It is a day that will live long in memory, and one that will never have dawned without the courageous actions of the Scions. On behalf of Doma and her people, we give you our deepest thanks. Lest you think me complacent, I assure you I have not forgotten the dark cloud on the horizon. That Xenos lives is a source of grave concern, mayhap the gravest, yet there is little to be done but wait for Alpha to send word. Until then, I plan to devote myself to fulfilling the promise I made to Gosetsu by building a nation in which none need live in fear. I confess, I miss him already, but the thought that he has at last found peace goes some way to softening the blow. I wonder, did you ever stop to ask yourself why he showed Yatsuyu such kindness? I believe the answer lies in the past tragedy, specifically the death of his wife and daughter during the invasion. Though he hid it well, they were never far from his thoughts. In Yatsuyu's childlike mien, I believe he saw not a fallen tyrant, but the little girl who was lost to him. After the loss of his family, Gosetsu devoted himself wholly to the service of his country. He suffered any hardship, strove beyond the limits of endurance without hesitation or complaint. Though Suyu could never truly replace his daughter, I had hoped that with her at his side, he might live out the remainder of his days in relative contentment. How cliche. Whether the kami had been so minded, Even now, I labor to discern any meaning of Yatsu's fate. To deliver her from certain death with no memory of her sins, only to leave her at the mercy of her stepbrother? Can that truly have been their will? Like that I cannot tell you. The will of the kami is not for us to know. But what I do know is that for a brief moment, a girl known as Suyu lived among us, and that she brought with her a whisper of respite for a grieving heart. How many more until the end of this patch? Oh, more cinematic? Oh, nope. I think there's a couple more left. Yeah. Ah, wrong person. I think it's time we were going, don't you? We've done all we can here, and we have a lot to report. But before we head back to the Rising Stones, let's call in at Ralger's Reach. We should be the ones to tell Lisa about Xenos. After everything we went through together, we owe her that. 1,000 gil. I'll never break 1,000,000 at this rate. Oh, it's just should spend some poetics. Get some endgame Shadowbringers, not Shadowbringers, Stormblood gear. Maybe not. But creepy music. Alexander Alizé, you're back. No Alpha now? It's good to see you, Lise. As for my headstrong brother, he's off on what will almost certainly turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Garlemald. It's a long story, but we have evidence that Xenos might still be alive. What? But that's... This is a joke. Gods, this better be a joke. Explain. Pan explain. We're going to pan the camera. Look, I know what I saw, right? We all saw it. And you are saying he's alive and well, living the high life back in Garlemald? I know how ludicrous this sounds. I'm still having difficulty believing it myself. But while I might doubt the word of an Imperial envoy, I'm inclined to trust Malcazer's. He saw the Crown Prince through the Echo, in a meeting that can only have taken place in the recent past. Xenos. No, it must have been, I don't know, some kind of really convincing imposter. Xenos is dead. He had a great big hole in his neck. We buried him. Aye, and someone went to the trouble of desecrating the bastard's grave, remember? Halls, gilded halls. Whatever are you talking about? Tancred, what brings you to the Reach? Alphino had me lending a hand at the Saltery, keeping an eye on the rebuilding work and so on. That's until operations were up and running. And now that they are, I thought I might look in on you before wending my weary way back to headquarters. Forgive me if I misheard, but is there some suggestion that the late Crown Prince could have gotten better? If so, might I suggest a quick look inside his coffin as our first order of business? As much as I hated the man, it doesn't feel right defiling his grave. If it will put this rumor to rest, I suppose we have to. And when there are no curious eyes about, if we can manage it. Xenos is buried up a blood hole in the locks. His grave was set apart from the others and left unmarked, so as not to upset the locals. Then it shouldn't be too hard to find. Nago, you're in charge until I get back. Let's go. cloudy and it's dark outside. What a ridiculous mount. This is one of the more ridiculous ones I've seen. This carries me. I haven't had you out in a while. This is it. Gods, you'd better be in there. Someone scrawled all over the stone a while ago, but I had it scrubbed off. I thought no more about it. So no one thought to check if the coffin was still occupied. Well then, we were presented with but one course of action. We'd best be sure we're not observed in the doing of it. Shall we begin?
Oh dear. We seem to be missing a corpse.
Well, it must be somewhere. I only hope it isn't walking around.
Someone sees. Hmm. Yeah, they mentioned the Asians like 2 or 3 times during this entire expansion. I know there's a lot going on. Aren't they like one of the main enemies? They were like entirely absent. If there's no corpse, then are we to conclude the rumors are true? Not necessarily. We might still be dealing with a doppelganger of some kind. An agent could have been sent to dispose of the body in a bid to lend credence to the tale of Xenos' resurrection. More and more, however, I found myself siding with Alphino's theory of Asian possession. Speaking from experience, I can tell you they have no qualms about taking a living host, let alone a dead one. You're saying an Asian is walking around in Xenos' body? It seems a distinct possibility. Once I have put this grave back the way we found it, I shall pay a visit to the people responsible for interring the Crown Prince. Before leaping to any conclusions, I want to know for sure if a body was ever buried here, and how certain we are that Xenos was properly dead. If he wasn't, that was some trick. He's as good as cut his own head off. Anyway, Rabon needs to hear about this. If you find anything, send word to me at Roger's Reach. I don't know why I'm surprised. With matters settling down in Doma, we were due another crisis. Shall we aim for the Rising Stones then? It's past time we share these developments with the others. And Tataru is still in Kagane. You're gonna put that all by yourself, Thancred? That stone looked pretty heavy. Haha, teleported. That's so handy. While I was waiting for you to return, I spoke with Yoranje over Link Pearl and gave him a full report. Your Stoll is on her way, and should be here any... Alize Malgazer, 'tis good to see you safe and well. What news have you from the East? Disturbing developments indeed. Given all that we know, I too conclude that an Asian now inhabits Xenos' body. Doppelganger might fool the Crown Prince's subordinates, but Malgazer? Nay, Alphino had the right of it. Would be that his wisdom extended to the question of his own safety. Capable though he has become, he ventures alone into the enemy's stronghold, and the shadowy web of the Paragons, like as not. When it comes to making rash decisions, I'm hardly in a position to criticize, but I'm worried. I just wish there was something I could do for him besides pray. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace. We cannot suffer icons to exist. Was I not clear on this point? More than clear. The icon in question was summarily dispatched by the Warrior of Light. The Summoner is dead, and the rite beyond repeating. Everything proceeded according to plan, every party behaving exactly as required. My methods may seem extreme, but there is no cause for concern. I work only to ensure the salvation of this star. Oh yeah? What are you fiddling with that thing for? I asked you a question, soldier. What are you? Have you lost your mind? Ah! I have lost many things, but my mind is yet my own. Where upon the stage I stood, prepared to take my final blow, only to find that the finale was but an intermission. Shall I use this chance to repent for my sins, embrace goodness and mediocrity? Nay, I will not. While the one I yearn to face yet lives, the hunt must go on. And is that Xenos? He's the only one that talks about the hunt. Ooh, Lunar Cycle. Got a new title. Under the Moonlight. Emissary of the Dawn. Yeah, the last one for this patch. It's been an eventful few days, hasn't it? But I suppose all we can do now is wait for word from Alphino. I don't recall the last time I had nothing pressing to be getting on with. We should probably make the most of it. I'll put on some tea. Tea would be lovely. You may regale me with the tale of your adventures in the Far East, and of your encounter with this new primal especially. I'll put the kettle on then. The table looks free, if you'd like to take a seat. Rio! Several cutscenes will play in sequence. Oh man. This is the long one. Yes. It's the end of the patch, so it makes sense. Interesting. So the Tsukiyomi was summoned in much the same manner as Susanoo, to be the medium of a sacred relic. That's right, they believe their gods or kami reside in physical objects. Given the danger they represent, it may behoove us to begin a catalog of such relics. But if we are to contain the threat, we will require a better understanding of the summoning method itself. I believe I shall pay a visit to Doma and learn what I can on the subject. A fine idea, and I know for a fact that our friends at Doma would be grateful for any information which could help to prevent further summoning in the region. I will pen you a letter of introduction. Lord Hien will wish to welcome our resident expert on etherology. Greetings. Could it be that I'm in time for tea? It certainly looks that way. Come on, sit down and tell us how your investigations went. Get some voice acting here? Nope. After you left, I went about questioning Bloodhost gravekeepers. They all told me much the same story. Once Lisa and her officers had confirmed Xenos is dead, his corpse was interred under strict supervision. There seems little reason to doubt your testimony on that point, but when I mentioned the defacement of Xenos' grave, accounts grew rather more vague. None reported having seen any suspicious persons in the vicinity, and all assumed that the act had been perpetrated by a vengeful Almegan. Crucially, however, I was able to confirm that when the offending scrawl was removed as per Lisa's instruction, no one involved thought to check the contents of the coffin. By that stage, it's like the corpse was already missing. Assuming Xenos was not, in fact, risen from the dead, we are left with two possibilities. Either the body was disposed of to lend credence to the claims of an extremely committed impostor, or an Ascian has taken up residence within it. If Asahi was as fervent a devotee as you believe, he would not have been fooled by an impersonation, however committed. We must assume that we are dealing with an Ascian and proceed accordingly. Agreed. The question is, how many more such monsters are waiting for Alphino and Garlemald? Our presence was his chief reason for going. He understood the risks. I only hope he did not underestimate the extent of the infestation. Meanwhile, in the Imperial Hypersonic Assault Craft L-25. In the L's 50. Master Alphino, we are making good speed towards our destination. Is aught amiss? Nay, 'tis just, I can see naught from my cabin, and I was curious to know the land over which we flew. I'm afraid our military craft are built with little thought for such niceties. I'm happy to indulge your curiosity, however. We are presently passing over the Burn, on the western edge of Othard. Even with the benefit of a porthole, your gaze would have been greeted with naught but malms upon malms of lifeless earth. I have read something of the Burn. It was described as a desolate wasteland, bled dry of every last drop of ether. It was believed that a succession of icon summonings was responsible. When Emperor Solus first came to Othard and beheld this blight, he is said to have reeled at the scale of the devastation. He declares icons a threat to our very star's existence, and issued an empire-wide decree ordering the eradication of all such entities. Of course. Report. We're under attack, sir. Magitech armor. No visible designation. Magitech? But who? All cannons, return fire. Damage reports. The main reactor's been hit. Helm unresponsive. We're going down, sir. Damn it, they knew exactly where to hit us. All hands, brace for impact. Glad to have you back, Master Alphino. We've landed in one piece, more or less. The infiltration system is damaged and the ship is filling with smoke. We must gather the survivors and get out while we still can. Aye. Aye. Ooh. Oh, I get to play as Alpha now. Okay. Master Alpha, might I ask you search for survivors? I will see to our injured helmsman. I have like 3, but okay. Damage, heal, and an AoE that does a little bit of damage, but mainly binds. And Starstorm, which is his limit break. Okay. I'm gonna go look for survivors. There's one over there, it looks like. Oh, they're teaching me how to use them. Oh, thanks. I don't think I would have made it. Yes, very likely saved his life. The question of who would try to take remains, however. Well, these last few out of their misery. The prince wishes none left. A prince? Yeah, they're coming to parley, I fear. Ready your weapons. What is this, a haste? Oh man. Increasing the damage dealt while reducing the damage taken. Nice. Role playing, experiencing what it is to be someone else. Nice. What if they have a lot of these in the upcoming expansion? Shadowbringers, I mean, not the new one coming out. And found it. Not here. Not like this. Oh yeah? What? Who in the Emperor's name? Enemies of our enemies. Introductions can wait. You are in common crisis, Master Alphino. Let us finish this then. Wonder who that is. Nice. Give me that buff. He's doing some pretty cool Garlean abilities there. Guard the Emperor. The man is a fiend. Cross formation. Deploy restraints. Ah, 'tis a child's trick. Needs my special here. Probably what I'm supposed to do. Thanks, boy. You think that if it's someone I knew, he would recognize the voice immediately. Exactly what I was supposed to do, is drop those stars. Voice acting? I mean, he has a Garlean weapon. He is a Garlean. Of his third eye. Why, thanks. Your intervention proved most timely. Well, well. I did not think to meet any Orzian in this place, let alone a Scion. You know of me, sir? I have some small history with your order. We do know who he is. But I would speak of the present. Know you your assailants and the severity of your predicament? The soldiers were the insignia of the Emperor's personal guard. And I could venture a guess as to their motive, but you have yet have us set as a advantage, sir. Will you not tell us who you are? Our names are not yours for the asking, and as for our purpose, let this be your answer. An Asian mask. The face of our prey. He's gonna leave the mask. We must away before more arrive. Come with us or stay, but make your choice now. Even should we manage the long trek out of the burn and secure passage to the capital, we would no doubt be greeted by the Emperor's personal guard. Indeed, we accept your gracious offer, Shadow Hunter will suffice for the present. Come. Who is this man? Oh dang, look how many he's taken out. Never mind, he didn't need all those masks. He didn't need the one. He has the rest of them. More cinematics. They did say there were a lot. But none of them were voice acted. This is intolerable. But as much as I wish to otherwise, there is nothing we can do for Alphino now but pray for his success. Well, that is not entirely true. While your brother journeys to Garlemald from the east, I can make my way there from El Amigo and find out what there is to be learned of the Empire's western provinces. And I'm coming with you. I can't very well sit here sipping tea if there's action to be taken. Forgive me, Alizé, but the provinces are hostile territory and stealth is all important. It is safer that I go alone. I can sneak well enough when the situation demands it. Don't patronize me. She'll leave this to Thancred. That's what he's good at. Not you, too. I understand your frustration, Alizé, but Malchezaar has the right of it. We must defer to Thancred's expertise in this matter. Fine. Just promise you'll be careful. It seems that praying is to be the extent of my contribution after all, but I will stay behind as I have been bid. We all have our talents. Mine just happened to be involved with silver tongue and soft souls. I promise to send the word the moment I learn aught of consequence. Did you notify me too? I may depart for Doma as soon as I find a suitable East Aldernon vessel to bear me thither, but I shall return if I am needed. Be sure to drop it whenever you're next in the area, Malchezaar. With any luck, I'll have a painfully detailed report from Alphino to share. Ponder. You've learned the emote Ponder. No new titles. That was it. Under the Moonlight. Quite a bit. Okay, cool. Well, and with that, that finishes patch 4.3 called Under the Moonlight. Next we play, hopefully we will begin and finish patch 4.4, Prelude and Violet. And after that, there's only one, I guess they split into two pieces, but 4.5 before Shadowbringers. So I'll go ahead and end the stream now. Thanks all for watching, and you guys, peace out.